Always for the one. Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Hey. He really, really moves up.
Hi everyone, my name is Oni. I am doing this video because I made a vow to God that if he saw me through my pregnancy journeys and gave me perfect babies, I will do a testimony video to glorify his name and share my experience, and encourage a couple of people. And this is me doing that. So I'll go back to the first pregnancy. This happened in 2020. So shortly before COVID hit, I found out I was pregnant, and because it was the start of COVID, I couldn't get an early doctor's appointment. I finally got one. I'm going for the first ultrasound. The nurse is very chatty. She's happy. Oh, you're pregnant. Blah 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 blah. Okay, let's start the ultrasound. Then she starts. And she's like, "Oh, I can see the gestational sac. Let's find the baby." And she goes quiet, and she's quiet, and then she goes, "I can see the sac, but it's empty." It's empty. There's no baby inside. And then I go, "Sorry, what do you mean there's no baby inside?" She said, "Well, usually you should be able to see the tiny baby and probably hear the heartbeat. But I can't see anything in yours. It's a form of miscarriage. It's called blighted ovum. You'll see the doctor now and he would explain further." I started crying because it was definitely not what I was expecting to hear. So go in to see the doctor. He explains why, what causes blighted ovum and all of that. And it's like, okay, it's what it is. We'll have to abort the sac and or do a D&C. But because it's COVID and we are quarantining and all of that, we would have to start with abortion. If it doesn't clear out totally, we would go in for a D&C. My husband, who is a man of faith, goes, "Give us 2 weeks. Let's just monitor and see what happens." And we take 2 weeks without doing anything to the sac. And it was the longest 2 weeks of my life. I was still sick, throwing up, going through a lot of emotional and physical pain, and knowing that it's for an empty sac made I don't know how to explain. It was so, my emotions were numb. I couldn't feel. I couldn't talk. I would just cry. I couldn't pray. You know that thing where you just want to pour out your heart to God. I couldn't do it through my mouth. One thing that helped me that season was journaling. I would write letters to God. "Dear God, why is this happening? I can't feel anything. Emotions are numb. I'm still sick. I can't pray to you. Why did you let this happen? Why me? Why am I going through this? Was this necessary?" And all of that. And it was such a trying time in my life. It's a season I can't forget. You go in after 2 weeks and nothing changes, and the doctor prescribes abortion pills for me to take, and I bought the sac. That one came with its own pain. I like to pride myself in being someone that can handle serious physical pain, but the pain was bad. The opioids they gave me as painkillers, wasn't working for the pain. I would just swallow them and feel no form of relief. It was that bad. My husband rushed me to the ER when the pain was overbearing at a point, and they gave me higher medications to sort it out and all of that. But I went through that aborting the sac phase, and it took a couple of months for my body to get back to normal. So I get my first period. August of 2020, and that one came with a lot of pain and bleeding. Same thing in September, and we were eager to have another baby, so we started trying again and all of that. But we're trying and nothing was happening. We're mounting pressure on ourselves. The mere fact that people were asking us, oh, what's happening now, was a form of pressure. So we started having sex just to have a baby. It wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't, like a chore. We needed to have a child. Every month, before I have my period, I would test, hoping that, it will be positive. But no, all negative. I remember in October, I skipped my period. I'm like, surely this must be it. No period means baby. I tried for several days, testing, but everything came out negative. One of those days I tested and it was negative. I just went into the room to have my devotion with God, and I could literally hear God chuckle. Like, he laughed. He said, why are you stressing yourself? I will give you the baby in due time. So I said, okay, God, I'm just going to rely on you. Then I'm just going to, do things normally. I'm not going to put pressure on myself. And I think that's when I relaxed. And all of that. The following month came, I saw my period. And then December came, my period skipped again. I was like, my body is probably still healing from the miscarriage and all of that. But fast forward to January, I was trying to make a grocery list. Mind you, in December, I started having dreams of delivering a baby. I started having dreams of, a baby boy tugging at my dress, saying I should carry him. And, I had a couple of dreams, but I told myself, maybe it's my wishful thinking, my heart desires. My heart desires are causing those dreams to happen. And then God gave me a word in December that the next season of my life was going to be a season where I'll go through a lot of pain, but it was going to be something joyous. So I didn't know what that was. He said, you're going to go through pain and you're going to have a lot of joy at the same time. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but that was what he gave me. And first of all, in January, I was trying to make a grocery list of things I needed to buy in the house. And I listed pad as things I needed to buy. And the literally said, I don't need pad from January to September. I said, I'm sure that's not my thoughts. Did you just say that? Or I'm the one thinking it? And all of that. So something happened in January. My mother was very ill and I couldn't sleep for days. When she finally became better and everything had, calmed down, I was like, I'm not seeing my period for 2 months. Perhaps maybe I should just check just in case. So I take a pregnancy test and it's positive. Awesome. We're very happy and all of that. And then I start going through the works of first trimester. I'm sick. Very sick. And then I go for my first ultrasound. You can imagine how we felt going for the first ultrasound. We were scared, we were nervous. Like, God, please, let it not be an empty sack this time. And so we see the nurse and she starts the ultrasound. She was like, oh, see, your baby just wiggled. My husband and I literally said the same thing. Said, there is a baby inside? I said, yes, there's a baby. Oh, I saw that you had blighted ovum the last time. That's what the nurse was saying. I saw that you had blighted ovum the last time. I'm so sorry about that. But this is a baby. See, let's hear the heart rate. And, she checks the heart rate and it's a healthy heart beat. And the baby, I was in tears again. Like, thank you, Jesus, that it wasn't the same story and all of that. And I go through my first trimester, hyperemesis. Hyperemesis is extreme morning sickness. I was very sick. I lost 30 pounds. But God was there for me. Remember, he had told me I was going to go through pain and joy at the same time. He gave me awesome doctors that were able to attend to me on time. IV therapy was scheduled for me every other day just to ensure that I didn't get dehydrated because I couldn't keep food or water or anything at all down. I was throwing up blood blood from my mouth, blood from my nose. It was that bad. But I think for the fact that God had already given me that word and told me how it was going to be, made it easier to trust Him. Let me put it that way. It didn't make it physically easier to go through all of that, but it made it easier to trust Him. It made it easier to trust and hold on to His word. And throughout the pregnancy, there are words here and there that I would just be sleeping. I would literally hear the Holy Spirit say something about pregnancy in the dream and all of that. I am grateful to God for sensitivity in the spirit, because it made that particular journey easy. Fast forward to third trimester of that particular pregnancy, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. Oh, Father Lord, what is this again? High sugar levels during pregnancy. At that point, I was already tired. I was like, what is this? I had to be on a diet. They will tell you that the diet is not for you to be hungry. Just eat the right things. But man, there is nothing you can eat on a gestational diabetes diet that can fill you up. Well, I'm talking as an African girl. It was very, very trying. I would be so hungry. But imagine eating salad. Father Lord. Salad. Ezekiel bread. Cauliflower rice. What is that? And then I was placed on insulin towards the end of the pregnancy. So it was a lot. And because I was getting tired, gestational diabetes was stressful, I had to negotiate with God. God said I was going to have a September baby. So I told Him, I said, God, you said I was going to have a September baby. My due date is September 10. However, let this baby come out September 1st. Because I am tired. At September 1st, I'll already be full term, 38 weeks and some days, and all of that. So come August 31st, I go to this appointment. And my BP is high. And the doctor says I have pregnancy and I need to go into the hospital now to deliver this baby. And she's starting to be like, I'm so sorry about this. This happens to a lot of women. I was like, please don't be sorry. I am very excited. God, I was joyous. The news was a bad one, very bad one, because my BP was just, escalating. But I was joyous because I knew that September 1, the baby was going to come out. And God had answered my prayers. So, the doctors were really, really worried. I got to the hospital, they were prepping my bed for seizures, that my BP was so high that I could go into seizures at any time. They were prepping my bed, they were giving me magnesium and all of that. For me, all I was saying was, my God is with me, my baby is coming out September 1, just like, I asked Him to. And my baby came out. My baby boy is here. He's here. Mommy is here. I had a little bit of episode with the high blood pressure thing, but God was good. My healing was from the CS. I had to have a CS. My healing from CS was easy and quick, and the blood pressure finally resolved and all of that. And to the glory of God, I made it. My baby made it, and that I'm grateful to God for preparing me for that season. It wasn't easy, but God prepared me, and that is what I am, grateful for. Okay, that particular pregnancy journey wasn't easy and made me fearful of the rest, made me fearful of the next one. And I kept on saying that, God, if I'm going to have another baby, you would have to, really tell me that I won't go through the struggles I went through with the last one. I won't go through the same struggles I went through with the last one. But God's ways are not our ways. August 2022, I get a word from God that it was time to have a second baby. Okay, surely this must be from God. God has answered my prayers. A smooth sail and all of that. But I started praying, I started fasting. Coincidentally, my mom started fasting and praying with me concerning having another baby too. Okay. Yeah. But I was still dragging my leg. I had a toddler. I was tired. Bringing another baby into the picture, I'm like, God, am I really ready? But He gave His word. I had my family planning on, this might be too much information, but I had my family planning on, having another baby means I'll have to remove it and all of that. But I was still dragging my leg. I was just praying and fasting. God, if you say so, I should go, I should do it. Come September, a month after I got the word, my family planning wasn't just settling well with me anymore. The pain I had for 3 days, I had excruciating pain, serious pain that I literally had to pick up the phone and book an appointment with my OB. So I finally booked an appointment, and after I booked the appointment, the pain stopped. So we booked the appointment for November. That's the earliest date I could get for that particular OB. And we booked the date, we took it off. The doctor said we should wait 1 month before we start trying. We did all of that, and I got pregnant immediately. God gave us a word to start our year. Isaiah 58 verse 11. The Lord will guide you continually, giving you water when you are dry and restoring your strength. You will be like a well-watered garden, like an ever-flowing spring. That was the word He gave us for year 2023. We knew that it was a form of dryness coming, and we knew that He wanted us to get pregnant, but I wasn't having it. Like, I wasn't going to merge that word and my pregnancy journey together. Like, I'm just going to have a smooth step. So 2023 comes and we find out we're pregnant. I'm very hopeful. Like, no, I won't go through the whole works. No hyperemesis, no sickness, no throwing up, nothing. And then it started. And because the OB I had wasn't very proactive. After even telling him I went through this with my last pregnancy, that he should do this and that, he wasn't just listening. So I became sick, and it was worse than the first. I lost another 30 pounds. I was in and out of urgent care. I was in and out of ER. I was extremely dehydrated. I was dry. I was very dry, and I couldn't pray. Lucky I was angry at God. I was like, God, you said I should go ahead and do this. I prayed to you for this. But why are you not answering? Why are you not doing this? Not doing that? Well, my husband would, pray, and he would pray according to Isaiah 58 verse 11. Lord, you said you would always water us when we are dry. My wife is very dry now. Please water her. I remember the last time I went to ER that led to them admitting me in the hospital. The doctor was like, you were here a couple of days ago, and I can see that you had IV therapy earlier today. Let me give you another IV therapy. Let me give you another IV. Let me see if you feel better. They give me the first bag of IV at the ER. I was like, okay, this is your second bag today. Maybe you want to pee. I said, no, I don't want to pee. Okay, let me give you second bag. Second bag of IV. Okay. By now you should be pressed. I'm not pressed. I don't feel like peeing. And then nurse is like, okay, I'm coming. He goes to meet the doctor, and the doctor comes and like, okay, you're extremely dehydrated. We're going to admit you on the basis of dehydration. I didn't pee till the next day, and I was on IV throughout. I finally peed, and the doctor was like, okay, we'll have to stabilize you right now. They gave me drugs. Now I've been taking drugs. I've taken all the Zofran, the Diclegis, B2, Unicin, yada yada yada. They pack more drugs. Anybody that tells you that there are drugs, pregnant women should not take drugs at all, he's right. I tell you, there's some hard drugs pregnant women take. I took hard drugs during pregnancy, like drugs I've never heard of before, and I had to take every one of them 2 hours. I had to stagger them in a way that I was not without drugs to be able to, be stable, eat, and not drop. That's what I did till second trimester, till I started, taking out some of it. So God healed me from that and all of that. But even while I was going through the hyperemesis, my resting pulse rate was reading 140s, and the doctors couldn't understand why I was lying down and sleeping, wasn't working, wasn't doing anything. My heart was racing. The breast specialist, cardiologist, all of that. They couldn't find out what the problem was. They did ultrasound for my heart, for my leg, for my this, for my blood, blah blah blah. The specialist one, they just looked at me and said, "I don't know why you're going through what you're going through. I don't know. But your nurse here is under control, so we'll just discharge you." I was like, "That's fine." For the fact that I could even put something in my mouth, I was already grateful. Came up with another thing that my thyroid levels were high. I would have to continue seeing a specialist and all of that. It was a whole lot of. I was like, God, why? Why? This is even looking worse. Even doing the hyperemesis, like when I was really sick, I had crazy thoughts I couldn't utter with my mouth. I was scared. I was literally scared that it was going to be, I just thought I couldn't utter with my mouth. It was that bad. And God healed me from that, and I moved on. My pulse rate was still very high. The thyroid became better. The thyroid levels became better. So they sent me because I was very sick. That's why it affected that. Because I had gestational diabetes in my last pregnancy, they tested me early at the beginning of second trimester. And lo and behold, I had it again. Hey, Father Lord, I prayed to you. Why is this happening? So I was given a nutritionist who was supposed to see me through the gestational diabetes. She put me on insulin immediately. I had to start poking myself 4 times a day on my belly after every meal and right before I sleep to keep my sugar levels under control. I had to check my sugar levels 4 times a day, meaning I had to poke myself 4 times. So that was 8 times putting pins into my body as a pregnant, and I was hungry because I was on diet again. I couldn't eat, the things I wanted to eat. I couldn't eat normal sweet staple foods. I had to do the whole salads and everything again. And I did this for 6 months. It was longer, it was tiring. But through it all, God kept me connected to Him. I couldn't pray as much. I'll just stay on my bed and just, say, God, please help me. Ask for your strength. That was literally my prayer life during the pregnancy. But God kept me connected, gave me a responsibility that ensured I was connected to Him. I was always going to church and all of that. And I knew He did that for me. Like, He needed to ensure that I was connected one way or the other. That if I wasn't even going to pray, I was connected. So God did that for me. Right. So fast forward to 29 weeks, I go for my doctor's appointment, and she takes a Doppler to check my baby's heart rate, and we hear that our heart rate is skipping a bit. Because that sounds funny. This should not be. It doesn't sound right. Let me check again. Same thing. She said, okay, let's monitor you. On the monitor, they could see that our heart rate was skipping. She said, okay, you have to go to the hospital. We need to monitor you for longer. They sent me to the hospital, and I'm in the hospital for 9 hours. And I was filled with anxiety. Mind you, we had not checked my baby's gender at that time. And, I was still on some drugs for last year at 29 weeks because, I still, had a little bit of the nauseating feeling, and I had gestational diabetes, so I was termed high risk, and now the heart rate thing. So it was a lot. I was crying, and it was just a lot. I call my mom and my sister home, and they pray with me like they always do. They're like a major support system. They pray with me like they always do. And my sister calls me in the evening and says, I was on the prayer line for my church, and someone said, someone gave a word, and I believe it's for you. And she goes, the person said, there's someone here, you're worried about your elder sister. God said I should tell you not to worry anymore, that He's going to give her what she wants. And I wrote that down. I actually wrote that down. So what do I want? I want a perfect baby and I want a girl. That's all. Chicken, I got. The journey is already crazy. Just give me this, two things. And I wrote it down. I not check my baby's gender at that time. And so, since 29 weeks, every time I would go in for my doctor's appointment, I started going every other week. I started going 2 times a week from 32 weeks. They would always send me to the hospital. Every other day is like, this heart rate is not giving us what we want. Go to the hospital for monitoring. I became a frequent visitor to the hospital. Like, I'm walking in and the nurses are like, "Hey girl, you're here again. Good to see you. Baby's not ready to drop. Another monitoring, right? Okay, come. I got your room ready for you." Or at the OB clinic, I'm going and the nurse is like, "Don't worry, they know you there and they like you." My God, why is this the testimony? I do not want to be a frequent visitor to the hospital. But it was what it was, and I was filled with a lot of anxiety, a lot of tormenting thoughts were another thing. Like, I would wake up literally in the night, awake, because I had tormenting thoughts. The devil was bringing thoughts that were not palatable, thoughts that were not what God, promised. And I would have to fight against these thoughts. I would not sleep because of tormenting thoughts. That happened for the longest time during this pregnancy. I was filled with a lot of anxiety. I was so anxious that when I go for every doctor's appointment, the first BP reading they would take would be very high. And because they knew what was happening, they would tell me to relax. And then the second one would be normal. The scale of preeclampsia was also there. There was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of fear. It was a lot. But God was faithful through it all. God was faithful. I had a great support system. I had my mom who was raising prayer altars for me daily, every day, doing dry fast. I had a very supportive, I had a great support system. Family, sisters who were also pregnant, a great support system for me. For that, I'm grateful to God. God did not leave me without help. He did not leave me without help. I couldn't pray for myself. I literally could not pray. Like, my mom would tell me, just say a word. If it's just a word, don't worry, I will do the prayer for you. It was that bad. Whether I was angry or not, it was just a very trying period. People see me in church all smiling. But a couple of hours, I was probably on my bed. I could hardly stand up because I was tired. I wasn't eating well. I would have to poke myself. I would be filled with tormenting thoughts. I would be filled with anxiety and all of that. When I got to 38 weeks, that morning I woke up and I sat on my bed and I looked at my husband and I said, with all the struggles, I am full-time. I cannot believe it. I didn't think I was going to get to full-time. I was telling God that if I could just get to 36 weeks, I would be super grateful. That was how bad it was. I got to 38 weeks and I sat on my bed and I was like, God, I felt dazed. I was like, God, you still brought me to 38 weeks. And all of that full-time, and I was grateful to God. And we went for the doctor's appointment again at 38 weeks and 6 days. And she's like, the readings are still not right for this heart rate. Let's just bring the baby out. It's not an emergency at this case, but I think you're already full-time. This stress is a lot. Let's just bring the baby out. I'll give you time to think. But you need to go to the hospital right now for monitoring anyway, like you always do. So we went for monitoring, and that was after the evening time. We finally decided, and they brought out the baby. They brought out a healthy baby. I didn't have issues. She came out hungry. She came out nursing well, and all of that. I am just super, super grateful to God because these are different seasons in my life where I've seen how God can just be with you. He didn't say you would have it all rosy. He didn't say you have it all rosy. He said, I will be with you when you go through it. When you go through the fire, when you go through the water, I will be with you. And God was literally, even when I didn't feel it, even when I didn't sense it, He was with me. He ensured that I knew at intervals that I know that, you're not talking to me as much, but I am with you. And this is just me encouraging anybody. It doesn't have to be pregnancy. It can be any season you're going through right now. You might find it hard to pray and all of that. But God is still there. He never leaves the spot. We are the ones that move away. God is there. He doesn't change. We move away from Him. But He still reminds us from time to time that I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm waiting. I'm with you. I'm with you. I will give you what you want. I would be with you through the fire. I will be with you through the water. And so my baby just turned 1. My son turned 3. And I look at them and I am amazed every time. Like, God, despite all I went through, I see beautiful children. They give me so much joy. And am I the one that carried these 2 children? Me, small only of those days, I carried these 2 children. I went through the challenges and struggles I went through, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I am still here standing. God is faithful through it all, and it's just a lesson for me that God prepares you for seasons. You just have to be sensitive to what He's telling you. He prepares you for seasons. You have to be sensitive to what He's telling you, and He would be with you. No matter how tough it is, He would always be with you. I hope my experience has, helped 1 or 2 people. And yeah, I finally fulfilled my vow to God. So I'm grateful for that as well. Thank you. I hope you were blessed by this. Enjoy. Bye.
You've done it again, Lord. You've done it again. You are good, and you are mighty, and you are merciful. And you keep taking care of me when I don't deserve it. Praise you, Jesus. You are Lord.